or welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today I'm going to be doing a recommendation video for Why Choose Romance. So I'm very sorry that I didn't have a video last week. I was overcome with exhaustion and just like health stuff and was so tired and just not able to get a video filmed, so I'm very sorry for that. I've already broken my one video a week situation, but I'm back this week. I'm hoping to have 2 videos this week, but we'll see about that. Today, like I said, we are going to be doing a recommendation video for Why Choose Romance or reverse harem romance. I have done multiple recommendation videos for this trope before on my channel. I will link them down below. And I have also done a brief guide to Why Choose Romance. So if you want to get started in it, that is a great video to go check out. Like if you're looking, I talk about like what reverse harem romance is and like what's a good place to start. So I'll link that one in the description and in the cards also. But we're gonna get into it. I have a couple to recommend and this is one of my favorite tropes, so I'm very excited about it. It's like all I've been reading lately. So the first one that I have to recommend is Killer of Mine by Alexis Grace. I actually have a copy of this. It's right behind me. Killer of Mine by Alexis Grace. This one is a darker Why Choose Romance with 1 heroine and 4 heroes. The heroine in this one is a police officer and also the daughter of a serial killer. Nobody knows that. She is the daughter of a serial killer and she faked her death and created a new person for herself in order to join the police department and try and take down her father, since her father is a prolific serial killer who is still out there and never been caught. And she catches the attention of these 4 FBI men who all work in basically like Criminal Minds, serial killer hunter, behavioral analysis type people. And she catches their attention. One of the heroes gives a presentation at her like police station and she asks a question that like puts her on his radar and he becomes suspicious of her. They look into her and they uncover some secrets and they have a romance and it is so good. This one does not have an HEA. Book 2 came out in the beginning of February or the end of January and I have just not gotten to it yet. It is on my Kindle, ready to go. I just have not started it yet, but I absolutely loved this first one. So excited to go into book 2 and I don't think that book 2, I think it's going to continue to be a series and be like a 3rd or 4th one, so I don't know that for sure. This one does have an audiobook. I read it on ebook, but it does have an audiobook. I absolutely loved this one. Highly recommend it. Cannot wait to read the second one. So good. The next one that I have is one that I talked recently about in my books that I'm obsessed with video, and that is the Broken Bloodlines series by Sadie Kincaid. The first 2 books are out as well as a short prequel. But book 3 comes out at the end of March and I am dying for it. This is a paranormal Why Choose Romance with 1 heroine and 4 heroes. The heroine in this one grew up in foster care and she is about to exit foster care as an 18-year-old when they tell her that she has a like fund. It's kind of like a trust fund is not the right word, but they found this account that's in her name that she will get if she attends this specific college. So she's like, hell yeah, goes to that college, and this college is interesting because it's mostly run by like paranormals, but there are humans there and some humans know about the paranormals and some humans don't. So she comes across these 3 men, what she thinks is attacking this woman, and are actually vampires who are sucking the blood of this woman, and they are able to like erase her memories, the girl that's that they're feeding on. But the heroine comes in and she thinks that they're attacking her. She like tries to stop them and they're like very intrigued by the heroine because her blood smells so good to them, and they end up bringing her back to like their house. And these 3 guys are all like very close, and then there is a 4th guy who is older than them who they call the professor, and he is like in charge of them. He's like their leader and he suspects that the heroine is not human, and he has the 3 guys follow her around, and they all fall in love. So it is a romance with the 3 guys and the older guy, so it's all 4 guys. It's so good. It's like uncovering different secrets about the heroine and like the importance that she has in the paranormal community. You find out that she's like super, super powerful, and that she was hidden in the human world at birth, which is a very common fantasy trope. But I absolutely loved this one. I had so much fun with it. The spice is spicing in this series, so Sadie Kincaid always brings the spice, and she definitely brings it in this one. I absolutely loved this. I had so much fun with it. I was absolutely addicted. I even read the like 40-page prequel, which you don't really need to. It's just about one of the heroes getting sired. But I was like, I want these characters, and I was so sad when I finished the second one and realized that the third one is not out yet. But I highly, highly recommend it. I'm so excited to read the third one in the end of March, and would highly recommend. I also read the ebooks of these ones, but they do have audiobooks, and apparently the audiobooks are full cast. I found out that they had audiobooks later, and that the audiobooks are on Hoopla. So if you have Hoopla, they are on audio. The next series that I'm going to talk about is actually a universe. So I have mentioned this universe before in other Wide Shoes videos, but there are different series in this universe, and all of the series are Wide Shoes. So I've mentioned other series, and I'm just going to talk about the universe as a whole this time. So this is the Make Games universe by Meg Ann and Kay Lorraine. So this universe features multiple different 4-book series. So the first, and I would recommend reading them in order, especially before the last one that's currently coming out. It makes more sense because there are other characters coming. You could understand it without reading the others, but it's more fun if you know what's going on and recognize the characters and everything. So the first series in this universe is the Make Games War, and then you have the Make Games Pestilence, then you have the Make Games Death, and Make Games Apocalypse is currently coming out. Only 1 book is out in the Make Games Apocalypse series, but each series is 4 books and follows a heroine and her men. But then the universe as a whole follows a storyline. So basically, there are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse. And in this universe, the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse have a competition to see who can start the apocalypse first. Each series is them trying to start the apocalypse. So Make Games War is the horsewoman War trying to start the apocalypse, and she has like background influence on the heroine ending up with her men and things that happen that she knows will lead to the apocalypse. So the most recent series that is currently coming out is the Make Games Apocalypse, because the apocalypse has started. And this one, the Make Games Apocalypse, the first book in this one is called Sin, and this one, the heroine in it is the vessel. Since the apocalypse has already started, she is the vessel that will fully start the full-fledged apocalypse, because the apocalypse has been started and Lucifer is getting released from his prison. So the different seals are breaking in order for Lucifer to get released. And then Lucifer will bring about the end of the world. So the heroine in this one is a succubus who is the vessel who will carry the baby that will bring about the end of the world. So Lucifer is trying to find this heroine in order to get her pregnant. And the Lilith, who is another succubus in the series, she is a side character in the whole series. She's like, we don't want this to happen. And so this series is the heroine who is the vessel for the apocalypse, and then the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And we've got some breeding kink going on to try and have them impregnate her first. It's so fun. It's so interesting. And I would, like I said, recommend reading the series, like reading the universe from the beginning. So starting with the Make Games War, the first book in that series is called Obsession. I'll put the picture for Obsession on the screen. But it is so good. I promise it's so good. It's so addicting. And if you are an audiobook girly and not listening to the audiobooks of this universe, you are missing out. These audiobooks, Kay Lorraine and Megan's audiobooks, are so good. They are full cast, they are stacked narrator lists, and Kay Lorraine aka Kim Lorraine, is also Stella Hunter, the narrator. Her narrator name is Stella Hunter. The way that she narrates her own audiobooks, and they are so fucking good. So fucking good. Please go read them. But overall, this universe, so addictive. You get so many different things, but they're all white shoes. They're all so good. Love them. The next one that I want to mention is the Boys of South Chapel series by Abby Millsaps. I love Abby Millsaps, and I loved the Boys of Lake Chapel series, but this one is a spin-off of that series. They all have same titles. It's so difficult, but I'll put the first one on the screen. This is the first one, and this series is so hard for me to explain. I don't know why, because it's not that complicated. First book in this series is a heroine with two heroes. One of them is her childhood love, who she had difficulty with and is now her stepbrother. So there is history there that is just like very traumatic, and a lot of angst in this series. So the first book in the series, you have her tortured past with her high school sweetheart, who is now her stepbrother. And you have a fake dating friends to lovers with her stepbrother's best friend. So each book in this series adds another guy. So in the second book, you add a guy she met when she left all the years ago. So she was with this guy, Grady, when they were younger. There were things that happened that were traumatic. She ends up leaving after he becomes her stepbrother. She ends up leaving, and now she's back after years later, and she is having this fake dating relationship with Greedy's best friend and ending up still in love with Greedy. Then in the second book, she adds a man that she had met when she was gone for all those years. And then in the third book, she adds another man. So there does end up being four men. There does end up being four men, but they get added progressively. But this series is so good. I'm on book 3 right now, or I have read up to book 3. I haven't read book 4. It just came out. And I really like this series. It's definitely angsty. It's more messy than some other white shoes that I've read, but I would highly recommend it. I love Abby Millsaps. I am going to get to meet her for the first time in Orlando in March, so very excited about that. But love this series, would recommend. The next one that I'm going to talk about is a standalone contemporary white shoes, and that is My Brother's Teammates by Melissa Ivers and Serona McMasters. I'm very sorry, I just butchered that so badly. This one is a plus-size heroine with hockey players. The heroine in this one walks in on her boyfriend cheating on her and breaking up with her, and she gets kicked out of their apartment because he's like, well, my name's on the lease, so you gotta leave because I'm breaking up with you. So she is nowhere to go. She's freaking out, and then remembers that she still has a key to her brother's old place. Her brother is a professional hockey player who used to live with his best friends, and he recently moved in with his girlfriend, so his room at his friend's place is empty, and she still has a key to it, and they're on an away game series. So she is like, I'll regroup there for the weekend while they're away, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with my life now that it's fallen apart, but I need a place to go, like, have a mental breakdown. So she shows up at this place, she lets herself in, she gets comfortable, she goes take a shower, and she, like, makes a mess, and she walks out of the shower completely naked to find that the guys are back. They're home. And she's like, oh shit. They're in their apartment, like, what the fuck's going on? And she's naked. So she tells them what happened and, like, begs to stay in the room until she can figure out what to do, and to not tell her brother about it, because he'll just want to come and, like, fix things and spend money on her, and she doesn't want that. And she ends up staying, becoming the roommate of these 3 guys, and then falling for them. And it's so good. I really liked this. I had a really good time with it. The heroine in this one is plus size, which is, again, something that I love. So I just had a great time with it. So if you love a hockey romance and want just something, you want like a white shoes, but something that's like a little bit more lighthearted and fun, this one is a good choice. Then The last series that I'm going to talk about is again a series, and that is the Cursed Legacies series by Morgan B. Lee. This one, the first book, is called Blood Oath, and I am currently obsessed with this series. I am just about to finish book 3, and I started book 1 like 2 days ago. I have been knocking these books out so quick because I am just addicted to them. This one is not one that I can say a whole ton about because there are so many secrets in it that you just have to like discover while you're reading. There's so many things about the heroine that you have no idea about, and you have to like try and figure it out as the heroes are figuring it out, and it's so good. This series follows characters who are descended from monsters, and so if you are descended from monsters and you have magic or abilities, you are called a legacy. And if you are a legacy, you are required by law to attend this graduate school for legacies. In this world, when you are at this graduate school, you have this ceremony called like the selection, where the gods choose people to be in a quintet with you. So it's a group of 5 people. Some of these quintets are platonic, some of them are not platonic, some of them they're only with a couple of people, some of them they're with all the people. It is just how your quintet works. But the people in your quintet are chosen by the gods. So this heroine who's in this series, she shows up at the graduate school pretending to be an atypical caster, which is when a human who grew up with human parents in the human world develops magic later on. So they were not born knowing that they're a legacy, they develop magic as a human later on and become what's called an atypical caster. So she enters this school pretending to be an atypical caster. You as the reader know that that's not true, but you don't know why she's there or why she's lying. But you know that she is not telling the whole truth and not saying, she's got other reasons for being there, but you're not really sure what they are yet. And she shows up, she's like, I only plan on being here for a short time. I am going to fulfill my mission and then leave. And she is like, I won't even be here for the selection. And even if I am, I won't get selected. It'll be fine. So then she's still there for the selection, shows up, gets chosen as one of the people that goes on stage, which is your keeper. So in each group of the quintet, there is one keeper, and the keeper is like the central person. They're like in charge, the leader of the quintet. And so she gets chosen as a keeper, gets on stage, and all of her matches are there. So she has 4 male matches who are all super high profile legacies. Very powerful, very high profile. And that is not great for somebody who's trying to keep it under wraps and trying to like be a wallflower and pretend that she is very weak. So she rejects them. And they are like, no, you don't. So she tries to reject them and tries to be like, yeah, no, you go apply to get a new keeper because I'm not going to be it. And they completely reject her rejection and are like obsessed with her and are trying to break down her walls. They are like trying to make her fall for them. It's so fun, especially because all of the matches, the 4 guys, don't like each other. They all have history. They all have known each other for a long time, and they all hate each other. So they are all vying to be with the same girl, but they're all like hoping also for the success of the other people because they want their quintet to be strong, but then also hate the other people and are jealous whenever they get something from the heroine that the other person doesn't get. So it is just like so fun and so good, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, I'm on book 3. I'm about to finish book 3, and I am so upset because the 4th book doesn't come out until April, but I love this series so much. Highly recommend. So good. But that is the last one that I was going to recommend for this video. So I hope that you find one that you like that you haven't read yet. But let me know down in the comments if there are any that I should add to my TBR, because after I finish this 3rd book in the Cursed Legacy series, I need another reverse harem to read. But that is going to be it for this video. So like it if you liked it, subscribe, stick around, see more content from me, and I hope that you have the absolute best day. Bye.